today we have a special guest with us. He is the founder and executive director of the Detroit Horsepower Organization, David Silver. David, welcome to the Splash Live.
Good morning. It's a
Good
pleasure to
morning.
be with you.
Good morning, David. We are honored to have you with us on the Splash Live today. David, I know that your remarkable organization is tackling two very important issues in the Detroit city, which is the lack of opportunities for vulnerable communities or children in particular, and all these vacant lands in the Detroit area. Can you tell us a little bit more about these issues and how does Detroit Horsepower tackle them?
Yeah, I really appreciate this opportunity to share about how horses can be a really important part of Detroit's future. Um, I'm lucky that I grew up with horses and have firsthand experience with how they shaped me as a young person. And I moved to Detroit to become an elementary school teacher. So what we do is bring kids from Detroit to partner horse barns outside the city for free summer horse camps and an after-school program that focus on the social emotional skills horses can teach us. Skills like perseverance, empathy, responsible risk taking, confidence, and self control. Horses can be transformational for how we see ourselves and the world around us. And then they can have community level effects, which you mentioned. But since 2015, we're really proud of the work we've been able to do with hundreds of young people building important skills through riding and taking care of horses.
That's beautiful. So this is what initially inspired you to create Detroit Horsepower. It's your childhood. That's absolutely beautiful. Can you tell us a little bit more about your programs? Can we delve a little bit deeper into these programs?
Yeah, we start with a 1 week summer camp that involves driving really far distances to barns that are pretty far outside of Detroit. But we have generous partner facilities that allow us to use their space and their horses, where we teach how to ride, how to take care of horses. We bring in guest speakers to talk about different equine professions. Students often start off nervous or maybe even afraid of horses, but over the course of a week of summer camp, you see a huge transformation in their comfort level with the horses and the skills they're developing. And hopefully they're interested in joining our after school program, which goes year round from October through May. And we've got more students in our after school program than we've ever had before. We're doing our best to keep up with increased demand for these unique enrichment opportunities, especially as we get closer to making horses accessible right in the city.
Can you tell us a little bit more? You mentioned all about these students and about the programs. Can you tell us a little bit, or can you give me just a success story from one of these programs, one of these students, and how life changing was it for them?
Yeah. We recognized two of our youth leaders at our gala this past May. So students like Itzel, who has been in our program for several years, spoke about how horses made her much more confident. She was the winner of our Confidence Award. And watching her get up on a stage and talking to hundreds of people is not something I think she saw for herself before joining our program. But horses can really build that self-belief, that feeling that you can take on the world, and being able to use that inner strength to not just talk in front of large groups of people, but really excel in school. And she ended up getting a full ride scholarship. She's currently attending the University of Loyola Chicago, and we're incredibly proud of her leadership and what she's been able to accomplish now as an alumni of our program.
That is beautiful. I hope that there will be a lot more stories just like Itzel's from Detroit Horsepower and all other organizations in the Metro Detroit area. We do understand that you're also tackling a problem of the vacant lands, the abundance of vacant land in the Detroit area. Can you tell us a little bit more about the collaborations? Who is helping Detroit Power to tackle this particular issue, and overall, how does Detroit Horsepower contribute to the revitalization efforts of the Detroit city?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's the other unique aspect of horses is that they They're big, they take up a lot of space, and Detroit needs creative solutions that turn vacant land into a community asset. So we spent years looking at large vacant parcels all across the city, trying to find the right site that would be a good fit for horses and that fits what neighbors wanted to see in their community's future. And we found a really ideal fit at the former Paul Robeson School site at Linwood and Fenkel. It's on the west side of Detroit in the Hope Village neighborhood. It's very close to Focus Hope as a 50-plus-year-old nonprofit institution in Northwest Detroit. And so we worked out an agreement with the property owner, which is Detroit Public Schools, and we're on pace to reactivate this 14-acre vacant field right now that is just sitting there without a purpose, and to reactivate it into what will become the largest urban equestrian center in the whole country.
That is absolutely beautiful. Now I understand that you might you might face some challenges, just like any other organization faces some challenges as they achieve their mission. Can you tell us a little bit about these challenges?
Well, in our current state, the geographic barriers to access horses are a huge impediment to the growth of our programs. We are committed to providing transportation and meals and making sure that these programs can be free for students that need it the most. But transportation and driving all the way out to barns that allow us to use their space and their horses is a huge barrier. So we're so excited to be able to reach our goal and build this new facility for horses to be right in Detroit. It's going to be a game changer for our program and so many more students that will be able to participate. But we do need to continue to raise the funds and build the community of advocates that wants to see this in Detroit's future. We do already have $5 million have been committed to this project, and we're continuing to build funds and awareness that will allow us to start construction in 2024 so that we can open this new facility in 2025.
David, can you tell us a little bit more about these? Of course, you do some funding events. Can you tell us a little bit if you do have any upcoming events? Can you tell us a little bit more about that and to our viewers so they can know all about it?
Yeah, I would love to have anyone interested in learning more visit our website at detroithorsepower.org, where you'll find information about Giving Tuesday coming up next week on November 28th. And all the way through December 31st is a really important end-of-year giving campaign, providing the resources to support students throughout 2024, both in our after-school program and our free summer camps. And then next May, we will be gearing up for our annual gala. It'll be May 3rd at Ford Field. We're really excited for that big annual event, and more information about that will be on our website.
Of course, the website, again, as David mentioned, it is detroithorsepower.org. You can see it on our screen right now, detroithorsepower.org, to check out all the events. And David, can you tell us a little bit more about volunteering opportunities at Detroit Horsepower and how can people volunteer?
Yeah, the contact page of our website does have information to sign up to apply to be a volunteer. In order to work with students, we do have everybody go through a background check and an orientation to get up to speed on how our program is structured and the ways we can include volunteers. That might include working directly with the horses for folks that have any prior skills they might be able to use. There are also plenty of non-horse facing volunteer opportunities. So there's a range of ways to get involved and build these important learning moments for students and to connect with our program if you're interested in going to the website and applying to be a volunteer.
That's absolutely beautiful. I mean, what's better than working with horses? For me, as an animal lover, I would love to work with horses and teach those students how to treat them as well. And this is a great opportunity also for these children to be more aware of the world around them, to be more aware of all the other creatures that are coexisting in our earth, and be kinder to them, if I must say. Again, I'm saying this as an animal lover myself. So again, we thank you for all the work that you've been doing. David, as the founder and executive director of Detroit Horsepower, what have been one of your most rewarding or challenging aspects or rewarding aspects of working in Detroit Horsepower, or creating it, if I must say?
Well, as a former teacher myself, I think what's most rewarding is for the students that I taught early in Detroit Horsepower's experience have now been with us long enough and developed their own experiences that they're now the ones teaching students that are just beginning with horses. That's been our dream all along, is to build the next generation of Detroit equestrians, building those skills and being able to pay that forward to young people coming up behind them. We're just at the beginning of that, being able to hire students from our program to be junior counselors. And as we grow with building this new facility, we're really looking forward to expanding our staff, especially in a way that represents the students that have come up through our program, and it's just going to continue.
And David, what would you like to tell people in the light of Giving Tuesday, as you mentioned? Would you like to tell people who are listening to you right now? How important is their funding to your organization?
Oh, it's critical. We're only able to offer these opportunities thanks to the generosity of individuals and grant partners and our sponsors. So I would be thrilled to have anybody listening visit DetroitHorsepower.org. There are ways to subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll find links to our social media on Facebook and Instagram. We'd love to have folks follow us on this journey and contribute to these life-changing opportunities for kids growing up in Detroit.
David, any final words I would like to say about Detroit Horsepower?
I'm just grateful for this opportunity to share about how horses can make a big impact both on individual kids and an entire community that can grow stronger through the power of horses. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful for this opportunity.
Of course, David. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, Detroit Horsepower is tackling several issues all at once and creating a better opportunities for these children and for animals as well, and for the whole city. Thank you so much, David, again, for joining us on the Splash Live.